Hola niños, ¿cómo están? Today's letter is the letter H. The letter H in Spanish is a funny letter because even though we write it at the beginning of words, we never pronounce the letter H. It's always silent. So it's kind of there just for decoration. So here are some words that begin with the letter H even though we don't pronounce it. The first thing is ice cream. Ice cream in Spanish is called helado. Helado. Next we have ice. Ice is called hielo. Hielo. The next word that begins with H is an egg. An egg in Spanish is called a huevo. Huevo. And the last word is a fairy. A fairy in Spanish is an hada. Hada. Did you hear how we never said the letter H in any of those words? There's one Spanish-speaking country that begins with the letter H, and that country is Honduras. Honduras is in Central America, right next to Guatemala, El Salvador, and Nicaragua. The flag of Honduras has blue on both sides for the water on both sides of Honduras, and 5 stars that kind of make the letter H right in the middle of the flag. Honduras also has lots of Mayan ruins and beautiful birds and trees and flowers. It's always warm there and it's a beautiful country. Here are 2 people who begin with the letter H. First, we have a man named Miguel Hidalgo. Miguel Hidalgo lived back in the 1800s and he was a priest in Mexico. Back in those days, Mexico was owned by Spain, and they hadn't gotten their independence from Spain yet. So Miguel Hidalgo went to his church, which looked like this, and he went up into the bell towers, and he rang the bells as loudly as he could, and he shouted for all the people to come out of their houses. And when all the people came out to find out what was going on and why the bells were ringing, he encouraged all the Mexican people to fight for their independence. So the Mexican people did, and they won, and they got their independence from Spain. So in Mexico, they call this man Father Hidalgo because he was the father of their independence. The next person whose name begins with H is Hernán Cortés. Hernán Cortés lived back in the 1500s, and he looked like this. He was from Spain, and he was an explorer. He went over to Mexico and very easily took over the country of Mexico because of the color of his skin and the color of his eyes. He had very light skin and very blue eyes, and he rode on a horse. And the native people of Mexico had never seen a person that looked like that before. And so they thought that he must be a god. So very quickly and very easily, Hernán Cortés took over, and Spain then owned Mexico. Hernán Cortés also built a ginormous church, which is today in Mexico City, just to show that he was kind of in charge now, and that Spain had taken over where once there were native Mexican people and their buildings. He knocked their buildings down and built this Spanish-style church on top of where their pyramids used to be. So Hernán Cortés took over Mexico for Spain, and Miguel Hidalgo got Mexico's independence from Spain about 300 years later. Today, with the letter H, we're going to be talking about la hora, time. As long as you know the numbers from about 1 to 12, you can pretty much tell time in Spanish, and you'll be able to answer the question, ¿Qué hora es? We'll see you next time. Adiós!